In this lecture, we will talk about the environmental interest group called Localists. These are the people who love their home and they are worried about their children's health and the property values of their homes. They love their surroundings and the aesthetics of where they live, which means that they are used to living in a certain locality and they love their surroundings and the way it looks. And typically, localists are the people who are against a specific project in a specific place and in a specific town. They are not uh, fighting against a cause per se or against a particular issue per se, but they are fighting against a specific project in a specific place and in a specific town. Their reach is very limited and their ideas and aims are very limited to one particular location, which is why sometimes they are accused of being what the activists call NIMBYs, not in my backyard. So this is a typical mentality where people are not bothered about the problems which don't exist around them. So not in my backyard means they don't want the problem in their own backyard, but they are not bothered about it being anywhere else. So the activists, because the activists fight for things on a global level and they fight against issues, and these localists, they are concerned with very specific projects in a certain locality, which is why the activists sometimes accuse them and they call them NIMBYs. They don't bother themselves with whether something is fundamentally good or bad. The localists, they don't bother themselves with whether something is fundamentally good or bad. The only thing that they want is they don't want it in their own house, near their house, or in their backyard. But there is a positive thing that we can draw out of this, which is that this can be a positive thing if it extends to everybody. If everybody wanted their house and surroundings clean, green, and sustainable, this will have a good global impact, because everybody wanting clean, green, and sustainable surroundings uh, essentially means that everywhere there is a need for developing clean, green, and sustainable environment, which means that if this mentality of localists or this idea with which localists work is extended to everybody, then it will have a huge global impact and will ultimately lead to sustainable practices. Their key strategies are boycotts and social media awareness. And this social media awareness, it helps them to connect to other localist groups and they form networks so that they can start to behave more like global activist organizations. The funding is usually gathered from local people, bake sales, or sometimes even a global organization. So these are the funding of these localist organizations. Thank you. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye.